I'm Jeanne Murphy. This is Talented People, broadcasting from Princeton Community Television. Thanks so much for watching in today. My guest is Carol Gable, and she's the Executive Director of the Metro Women's Leadership Summit that's coming up here on June 1st, 2018 at the Newark Liberty International Airport Marriott. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeanne.
It's always good to see you.
Always good to see you, too.
Carol and I go back a long, long time. She's also the president of Seven Pearls, and she's a specialist in risk management. But acting and as you are the executive director of this summit, we're going to focus on that today. So why don't you tell us what is going on?
I am very excited about this event. It is monumental. We've been able to capture all different types of women's groups. You name it, they're part of it. The idea came when we were thinking, why do we need another women's conference? Because there's so many of them.
There are so many, yes.
That's a question you could ask, right? Like, why now? But when I thought about all of the women's conferences that I've done, and I've facilitated the Governor's Conference on Women. We had our own NJ 300 conferences when I was with the State Chamber of Commerce in New Jersey. And we have never actually generated a conference of this nature.
Really?
Yeah, no, never. And there is no one responsible party. It's really a group of women that got together and said the time is now. And if you think about all the things that are happening, equal rights, for pay, the Me Too movement, it's just the right time to do something.
Absolutely, definitely, yes.
And it really was so easy to get the groups, our partners, to come together and contribute, to the content of the event. And my goal is to make this an annual event. There's nothing worse than a one-hit wonder, right?
Right.
Jeanne?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's really a momentum. I really hesitate to call it an event. Mm-hmm. That's what separates this, from other conferences or seminars.
Talk about, for one, let's start back. This summit that you're having is representing a number of different organizations across the state of New Jersey and surrounding area. They're all different, diversified groups.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about each, as many as you have time.
So, Jeanne, my involvement with the veterans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I have to have a female veteran group.
Nice.
So your next stage is one of our groups. And, they're going to talk about, the challenges of going from a uniform. And, that could apply to any woman, really.
Sure.
If you're in a suit like I am today, and maybe I decide I want to be an organic farmer, or I decide I want to leave my corporate world and I want to ditch my suit and I transfer into a different career path, mm-hmm. In my mind it may seem like a great thing, but when you actually go to do it, there's all kinds of transfer pitfalls that you have, especially for veteran women. So that's one group.
Yep.
We have the SBDC, the Small Business Development Centers. As you know, we've done work together with all of them, mm-hmm. Helping women across the state with their businesses, all of their challenges. But we have about 20 groups.
Yeah.
We can, the audience is more than welcome to go onto the website. It is Metro Women's, I think it's MetroWomen'sSummit.com. No leadership in the website. Mm-hmm. So eliminate the leadership, and the website lists every one of the partners.
And all of your speakers. And
you
need to know this is coming up really quickly. It's June 1st, and you have to sign up and register on the website. And you can look it up and see the press releases and click to the link too to find it.
Right.
But all right, so tell us a little bit. I want to go. I know that you have all these partners, and you also have a number of sponsors, which is really great because you've got support. So when you talk about it not being a one-off, this is a buy-in that corporations across the state of New Jersey are saying, this is what we really do need.
Exactly.
It's going to be huge. Yeah. You have 700 attendees and like 90 plus speakers.
Probably over 100 at this point.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible.
40 workshops.
40 workshops, wow. And it starts at 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
So let's go to the ladder. You wanted to tell about why you have the theme of this year.
Right. So when I first came on board to facilitate this summit, I was told that the theme is climbing the ladder. Mm-hmm. And I sat on it for about a week and then realized I don't like that theme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just couldn't really wrap my head around it. And something told me to take a pen and cross off climbing and write redefining the ladder. Because that's what we're doing as women now. We are redefining the ladder.
Right.
Right?
In fact, I totally agree. And I love the way you and I were talking about what a woman can decide to do nowadays to make her own path. Share a little bit more about what you're thinking this way as the vertical.
Right. So, and I'm glad you brought up the word vertical, because when we think of a ladder, it's a vertical ladder, and the image is it's a woman climbing and another woman following, right? That's the image we get in our head, and that's what we're encouraged to do, usually in a corporate hierarchy, organizational chart.
Right.
Here's the CEO, and then you get all these
I am
lines.
like so
and all
not.
these
I can't
ladders.
stand it. I love this whole thing because I can't stand it that much. Okay, but go ahead.
I know
It's just so
you need it, you know, for order.
There's got to be
So everybody
organization,
knows everybody's jobs.
But it's just like so. Get out of that. Go on.
It's a mindset.
You can
though.
no, I know.
It's
You
a
can tell.
mindset.
I'm like in the mindset of what you're saying to
Right.
not redefine it. Redefine it. Bring it on. Bring it
Redefine
on.
it.
Absolutely.
So-
for the sake of all those people out there who need to be able to say,
Yeah.
do it your way.
Hey, and I thought about it. I said, what if we take the ladder and we turn it horizontally? I saw a great little exercise. Someone is doing aerobics through a ladder. I started, you know, going online and looking at all these
That's cool.
ladders, and I just started to realize that the ladder is really your idea of success. What is the ladder for Jeannie Murphy, right? And
Right.
what would be the ladder for me? It's
Yeah.
very different. And maybe even in an organization, I'm thinking of that ladder as something different than the woman that climbed it before me.
Oh, I'm so happy that you're doing this again on behalf of the people who have to live in that structure.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
not. And like you said, break the glass ceiling. Forget it
There is no
altogether.
glass
yeah.
ceiling. Yeah,
It's so
I hate
old.
limitations, you know. And
Ugh.
all these lines of demarcation, right? And boundaries. Like, it's okay to color out of the lines.
Right.
It's okay.
Thank God.
You know, because why do you need lines or ceilings that stifle you and say to a woman, that's your limit. You're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be this, you can only take these classes, or you can only be the whatever in that organizational chart. But if you erase those lines, there's a world of opportunity.
And that is happening right now.
Yeah.
It's not just like you came up with this idea and all of a sudden you've got all these sponsors saying, "Oh, Carol had a great idea, and let's put it on at the Marriott."
they're all
You know,
into it.
no, they are, because
Yeah.
it's a necessary way to start to allow women to feel free in their own way to define their own success, which
Right.
are your own words, by the way, from the press release that I got the privilege of reading, and I love what you said.
Thank you.
And I think that's important
from
for
the
people.
heart, you know?
It is. And it's so important. Like, okay, so now, we are telling everybody out there, woohoo, there's liberation, right? We asked for it with the Me Too. We with a number of different things going on. We asked for it. And now
Right.
you're bringing it over to us so that everybody who goes to this event is able to say, I'm in. I want to change. I want to
Right.
learn. And you wanted this also. One thing I love is that you wanted to let everybody out there know that this event, a lot of times when we go to women's summits, it's a leader, and the leader is like looking for a leader, and then there's no one a little bit lower on the totem pole / not totem pole. And so you're
Back to
like,
the ladder.
yeah, back to the ladder this
totem
way.
pole's still a line of
Anybody who wants to
demarcation.
go to this, that's a woman. I guess men can come as well, but this is
Men
a
are
women's summit.
more than welcome.
And I love those guys who show up because they're kind of cool.
They're
like
brave.
they're brave.
They're brave.
They're very, very cool because they do show up, and they actually, I think, are really smart.
They are.
Because they get to just be like the minority, and we're all welcoming.
Yes.
And then they end up with all the business because they take a chance.
We have men that are leading workshops.
Yeah.
Leading
Oh, this
workshops.
one too?
Yes, and we have a couple that will actually do a workshop on understanding men and why men behave the way they do.
What time is that?
towards-
I
at the end of the day.
that. Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me, right before the cocktail hour. So
But I want to go back and make sure everybody does know that this is open to any level, a manager, a college graduate, educational someone who's maybe going to school.
We have students.
Students, right?
Yeah, students
across
are
the board,
coming.
any level in the corporation that wants to just get an idea of how they could start to look outside the box
Yes.
and be successful.
Yes.
And I want everybody, before we get in a little bit more into your headliners and your keynotes and stuff, to talk about what is that? Like, okay, Carol Gable, former everything, vice president, New Jersey, Delaware.
A title,
yeah.
really, okay.
No. Center of the universe in New Jersey. And then you have, all these people that you know, right? And yet you have your own business. And so defining your own success, what would Carol Gable do, right? What is Carol Gable's lens as to being, as a guest, not only the executive director of organizing the summit,
right,
but what do you really feel that you're going to take out of there? Because it's encouraging.
Such an easy question. I'm so glad you asked. And we didn't even rehearse any of this. It's just...
We never do.
We never do.
It's not worth it.
What I love to do best, as you know, is connect. Connect anyone. It doesn't have to be a woman. I've connected my assistants, young women, for job opportunities, businesses that were struggling as a startup, gazelle, growth companies that wanted to kick it up a notch, large companies that were looking for smaller companies to do supplier diversity with. Just connecting people in business is my passion.
That's what you do.
I love it.
Yeah.
And this is the epitome of it. And it's really like a reunion for me.
I bet.
A big reunion.
Yeah.
Because when I was the vice president at the New Jersey Chamber of Commerce, we had an organization called the NJ300.
Okay.
And I managed that group. And it was the top women in the state. Governor Whitman, who will be with us.
That's
why
another
I'm
one.
saying
Yes.
It's a reunion.
It's going to be, it's amazing for you. Yeah.
So she'll be doing a workshop with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman. And Channel 12 News is going to moderate, Katie Quiros.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's an exciting one. But it's a reunion of sorts with all levels of women that are coming together. And what's really fabulous is I've taken all of my experience, 20 years worth of thousands of companies along the way. You think the State Chamber of Commerce, I had the ability to meet with lots of legislative, elected officials, but I've also met phenomenal women and men, along the way. And many
Oh my
of
gosh,
them,
and all the corporations all across
all the
everywhere.
corporations,
Yeah.
right? So then all of these, friends of mine, they become a relationship to me. Not just a business connection. We end up really having a relationship, which is what I really believe in. That the relationship comes first, the business comes second. And you know how I love to mind everyone's business, right?
Yes.
That's sort of my little tagline.
Yeah, I love it.
But the
Just
whole...
keep mine in your mind. I just want to make sure, always, I know I'm on the top of the list.
You're like my biggest, bragger. I say, Jeannie's the greatest bragger. When I have an event or, I want to talk about something, you're
I'm
the
sincere bragger.
You are, and we love bragging
I
about
know.
things. It's the greatest thing, to have something that you want to share with people. And that's the essence of this. And, I really thought of it as a venue of inspiration. When I thought about it, conference, a seminar, how many of them have I done, have you done? Why do it again?
Right.
Right? And you say, me too. I say, me too, but I say, now what?
Now what? I agree, yeah.
So we all come together, and what do we do?
And especially just taking a different perspective, because being invited to women's summits, it's the same thing. Even all these years, it's the same thing. And now it's like, wait a second, no, it's not. Throw it all out.
Oh, it's not.
Bring all these experts in. Also, Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about.
So the Lieutenant Governor is going to be a keynote speaker in the morning, but she is not kicking it off. And this is really exciting because the First Lady, Tammy Murphy, is going to introduce the Lieutenant Governor. And what makes this special is the First Lady actually has an office with her husband, our governor, in the State House, which I think is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
She is redefining her ladder.
Right.
And the ladder of how they govern. So how
inspiring.
appropriate is it that she's going to introduce the Lieutenant Governor, who, again, within itself, we had one, during the Christie administration, fabulous Lieutenant Governor. And we're following suit within this administration with our new lieutenant governor, and not only Sheila Oliver, but we have Bonnie Watson-Coleman, who's the congresswoman. So, and we have...
It's just amazing.
Yeah, legislative workshops. We've got the Women's Political Caucus. We've got the Center for American Women in Politics. We've got a lot of elected officials coming to
I just want to remind everybody again, it's on June 1st, coming up rather quickly, 2018, at Newark Liberty International Airport Marriott for the whole day, starting at 7:30. And then in the afternoon, after all those 43 breakouts and presentations, basically, cocktail hour.
Yeah, cocktail reception, which is really great. And that's sponsored by Markham. It's an accounting firm who's new to us, and we're really excited to have them on board.
I love the way that you have these sponsors. I'm going to just remind everybody again. I mean, it's not an easy task to go out and start something new, especially when women's summits have been happening for long enough.
Yeah.
This is a unique one. It's huge. And you have the support of all of these different corporations. And that's where the change is going to happen. Because if they're putting their name on it and saying, we're agreeing that we've got to redefine this ladder, and they're saying, let me help you get this message out, then if you're out there watching, you should make sure you put on your calendar and be there, be part of the change.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, PSE&G is the prime sponsor, our platinum sponsor. And I've had the great privilege of working with Ralph Izzo, the CEO of PSE&G. And he's always, great about walking his talk. When we had a challenge in our state with the veterans, and we've spoken about this before, he came right to the step and, stepped up, talking about a ladder. He just kind of created his own stairway and, supported a very big mission, with our veterans, and he steps in once again. And we have some female leaders at PSE&G that will be participating in the workshops, and they are phenomenal women.
Yes.
We have one workshop that talks about, how do these cool women handle the heat?
Yeah.
But you think about it,
That's cool.
PSE&G, how many times with,
That's
a
great.
disaster or a crisis, you have these women that are in charge that have to make sure our energy gets back up. And, so just phenomenal women doing amazing things. Obviously, we can't talk about every workshop, but there are 4 verticals. So we focused on healthcare, which is really critical for women.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
regardless of your age, regardless of your occupation, things like infertility. We have a doctor coming just to talk about infertility.
Nice.
And little do we realize that it really makes an impact in the workplace. It isn't just emotional for women and their partners and their families. And it could be all kinds of women. We have all different kinds of marriages and situations. So it's really quite a topic. But, there's also the sandwich generation or the end of life, palliative care. So we have Hackensack Meridian, we have Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is one of our sponsors, talking about these issues that impact women that are really, really significant. Women are living longer, and they tend to be the caregivers.
Are they working longer too?
They are working longer.
Living longer, working longer?
Yeah. Yeah. But if you enjoy what you do,
I know. Yes, when you love what you do, it's okay.
Right?
It is. And believe me, I actually am laughing. I made a joke.
Yeah, define work.
Yeah. So let me just
really
again remind everybody again, June 1st, the Metro Women's Leadership Summit. You have to register online at the website. You can look it up, and then you can register. And it's at the Newark Liberty International Airport Marriott. So then, okay, we've got this going on. Cannot wait to get there. Let's talk a little bit about the keynotes, and then I want to talk about the profile, this whole program that you have going on.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, so the keynote in the afternoon, we already discussed the Lieutenant Governor, which we're so excited about.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, we're really fortunate to have Sandra Yancey flying from Texas. So Sandra has about 500,000 followers with E-Women's Network.
Wow.
And she is really motivational. She's an amazing, dynamic leader. Her goal is to create about 100 millionaires. Maybe it's 100 women that come to this event.
Wow.
So she's really dynamic. Her husband is coming with her.
Oh, that's
so you
nice.
brought up men, which I'm glad that you did, because it isn't exclusive to women. You know, there are a lot of men that support women and get them to where they need to go.
Thank God for them.
Yeah, and Kim is one of those guys.
Yeah.
So he's going to do a workshop as well on networking, which, you know, is really close to my heart. And so when you brought up the profile, and there is a whole plenary session at the very end.
Okay.
And what I mean by the plenary session is that everybody at the conference will be able to attend this one workshop. So during the day, you're able to go to 4 different breakout sessions. So there's one in the morning at 10, 11, then in the afternoon around 1:30, 2:30. But there is a special plenary session at the very end. And Sally Glick and Jeanne LaRue Frisbee will be doing a networking plenary.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good hour worth of really teaching women, you know, when you come to an event of this nature, what do you really want to leave with?
Right.
We leave with these business cards. We leave with relationships that we kind of just met somebody, but we really don't carry them on, right? The follow-up, you know, for whatever reason, it's a nice day out of the office. You know, you make a few friends and then you leave and then you think, oh yeah, that was a good conference. Maybe I'll go back next year.
Right.
That is not what I want this event or this venue of inspiration, as I refer to it, to be.
Right.
So with your ticket, with your registration for this event, you register for 4 different workshops. So there's 10 in each session. You pick, you know, 1 for each session, breakfast, lunch. Once you register, you'll get an email, and in the email, it will ask you to complete a personal profile. So for me, it's something I've been working on for a really long time. Versus knowing where to find somebody with a business card,
Right.
I really like an e-profile. I want to know, who are you, Jeanne Murphy? I meet you at the event. All I know is that this is your phone number, that you do public relations, but I really don't know who you are. I don't know who your clients are. I don't know who you want to get as a client. I don't know much about your family. I don't know where you went to school, all kinds of things. I don't know whether you like to golf or garden or sit home and read.
Right.
You know, I just don't know all those things about you, and it may make a difference. I don't know what charities you support. So the e-profile helps me understand a little bit more about you.
So I register, and then I'm going to get an email that is going to ask me to share a little bit more about myself, so that you can actually kind of have a database that's going to match it all and allow people to say, hey, I didn't get to meet Carol that day, but Carol was there.
Exactly.
And I love Carol because Carol does this and the veterans and all these dark web and all these things. And then basically it's like another level to the networking. It's like another, it's kind of crossing the T to the event to make sure that it grows into something else.
Yes, and it will, and that's the whole idea.
Oh, I love that. Because, I mean, honestly, with the kind of event you're talking about, just the fact that it's got so much support and because it's initiating so much change, anybody who's there, I really want to know. And if I don't have a chance, because I'm not going to have a chance to meet all 700 people,
right,
then I'm going to be able to go back and just sit in my office and develop my own entire business over what I just experienced, who I met based on what they like.
Right, and, you know, it's unreasonable to think that you'll meet 700
right,
people.
You just can't. Right.
And I like to do things in bite-sized pieces.
Me too.
I really like to get to know the person, develop the relationship, and really pay attention to them.
Right.
Versus this massive, you know.
Right.
I gotta get every business card.
No, I would like to be able to be there, be in a networking session or one of the breakout sessions, kind of relate to someone. You know, wink, I agree, I don't agree, blah, blah, and then be able to go back, look you up and say, oh, I know, I was with her, and now I want to give her a call and see if we can have lunch.
Well, we made it really easy because you can upload your photo, so I remember what you look like.
Oh, nice.
You can upload all your skill sets, your interests, whatever you feel would be pertinent to making a connection that would be meaningful for you. And I really have to thank our technology partner, Pam 10, because they've been working on this profile system. It's called Connect Pro Global. And the whole goal is to do just this. So this venue of inspiration, as I refer to it, is really the playground for something really spectacular. So what you don't see...
I want to get there just to make sure you have my stuff in the system, because I don't want to be left behind. We only have 2 minutes left.
And everybody that enters into the profile and fills it out completely gets a chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets from United Airlines, who's our sponsor.
Oh my
and
God!
Other gifts.
Wow,
So
it's really hard.
My microphone.
I'm impressed. I gotta say, it's really tough to get those types of incentives from the airlines. I've worked on a lot of fundraising things, and it's not fast. It's not easy, and I'm impressed. So
United's
basically,
great.
I know that's awesome. So
and all of our other sponsors.
So there's so many things that are going to happen that day.
Yeah, and it's not a one-hit wonder. Actually, you could sign up for a newsletter. There'll be a newsletter filled with topics from the speakers that got the highest ratings in the workshops.
Wow.
So
that's nice.
It's a good barometer for everybody that comes. And then you'll get a newsletter. You get to stay in touch with the speakers that you like the most.
Awesome.
And then we'll do a mid-year conference right in between. A smaller version, just to get everybody reacquainted before the next annual one. So it's really a momentum. I don't really want to refer to it as a conference or a seminar. It's really a movement.
It's a movement, yeah. And it's all about you, because you're like pushing, and I know that you have this vision, and I know that, you have done so many things in your life that put you in the position to make this happen because of all the relationships that you have.
Right.
It's just like a bigger version of exactly what you love to do.
Right. I have to credit Mary Baker, though, on our committee. Mary Baker, came to us and said, I go to all these wonderful women's conferences all over the country, and I would love for us to do something like this. So she did come to the table and said, I don't know what it's called, but, we have to make it happen. And, a vision is just a vision.
Just a couple weeks away.
Work. Yes, thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you for helping me spread the word.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm very, very excited about it. And I think you've done a tremendous job getting it this far. Can't wait until afterwards. We'll share some photographs and everything else. So again, I'm just going to remind everybody that it's the Metro Women's Leadership Summit on June 1st at the Newark Liberty International Airport Marriott for the whole day, starting at 7:30. Yeah, no, great job for you. We hope you'll join us. So this is Talented People. Carol Gable has been here before. She'll be back again. If you ever want to know someone who knows everybody. Anyway, thanks for watching Talented People today. Have a great week.